2 good wins. How does that now set you up to go away and test yourselves against one of the top teams?
Well, the next 2 games, obviously 2 of the top 3, so they're going to be difficult. We need to find a performance away from home. Home form's clearly good. Confident, knock the ball around well away from home. At home. Away from home, we need to show a little bit more resilience and a little bit more quality with the ball. So that's something we'll be looking to try and do.
You talk about resilience, and that's obvious, but actually, what is it that's needed to make that happen?
It's taking the confidence from home performance into away. It's still, still green and white lines and a referee and 22 players. There's nothing. It's more of a psychology of. But then we flipped it from the home form because we had a couple of good away wins before I came in at Cambridge and Northampton, and we couldn't win at home. So it's sort of, that's what happens in football. It goes in cycles, and it's to get the players to believe in themselves, because you don't become a bad team because you've had to go on a bus to a game. So it's getting them to believe in themselves, and make no mistake, it's going to be difficult. We could turn up and be brilliant and still get beat on Saturday because they're a very good team. But it's more, can we find a performance? I think the last away performance we did show grit and determination, because I think it personally should have been a 0-0 game. But it wasn't, so we pressed ourselves down and we've got another opportunity to put things right.
And as you try and do that, is it one of those jobs that you have to try and do in stages, or actually, can you make great leaps?
Well, the players know what we want from them. I think they know what they need to deliver as well. So if you just take the last 2 away games, for example, obviously we've been beaten 3-0, what is probably I described as the worst performances I've been in, but there's not been many of them. It happens in football. And then they did show a reaction in the last game. Backed it up with 2 good performances at home and 2 good wins. So you're always looking to improve. Doesn't matter where you are in the league, doesn't matter what league you're in, doesn't matter what age you are, you should be always trying to improve.
And do you feel that with a few of the personnel you've got back recently, I'm thinking the likes of Will Boyle, does that sort of help you go there and be a little bit more, I suppose, confident about yourselves maybe?
It's up to the players to deliver performances. Obviously, you look at the bench on Saturday, it was a strong bench. So it's probably the strongest squad since I've been here. People like Lloydie missing out and Matty missing out. So I think other than Alex and Nigel now, I think they're the only 2 injuries. So we've got a good group to hopefully pick the right team and hopefully get a result.
And you mentioned Manny there, he's gone out on loan. I suppose that was something you've been working towards for a while.
No, not working towards it. An opportunity came up. Well, I've had plenty of discussions with Manny. And he's got another year here, so it's not like we're trying to throw him out the door or anything like that. Where he's come from, he needs to be playing football. He needs exposure at the level. Now, it's obviously a level down, but it's still higher than what he was. So the more minutes that he gets, the more football that he can get. I spoke about the same thing with Jacob Maddox last week. Chelsea have sent him for the same things, experiences, because you can train and train and train and train, but live, when it means something, learning off better players. So, and even going away to a different part of the country, different manager, getting asked different questions. They're all things that will benefit him and us, hopefully.
Mansfield already said they're one of the top teams. What do you make of them and their style of play?
Similar to us in regards to the shape that they play. They normally play with a 3, but they can flip it. When we played them at home early in the season, they went 3-5-2. We started really well, and they flipped it second half to a 4-3-3, and really had us camped in. So they've got good players. There's no getting away from that. They've got a good manager, good players, and there'll be a big crowd there, I imagine, and they'll be expected to win. But we know all those things, but it's more about what we can do. Can we find a performance to nick a result? Now, hopefully you go and look for a win, but even where we've been, we just need to score a goal is the first thing we need to do, and look more of a threat.
And you talked about only 2 players out injured. Are there fitness mistakes with the likes of Tyrone and Reg, the extent where actually you've got 100% fit players, or have you got players who are sort of fit to take part rather than sort of fit to maybe get through the 90?
No, I think they're all fit. Listen, I'd imagine there'll be a few knocks and a few carrying a little bit of something, but it's very rarely you go into a game where I feel absolutely brand new. So we don't put them on the pitch if we feel there's a risk, because because last week could have been seen as a risk, but I think I've shown in the past that, especially with muscle injuries, things like that, with Luke, he missed Monday, Tuesday, but he trained Friday and he came through it. We did a few tests on the Friday as well, and he was seen as fit, and he got through, I think it was 84, 85 minutes or something like that. So everyone that's involved is ready to play. Now earlier, people like Sean Long, because we all of a sudden had a bout of injuries, just real short-termers. Now he wouldn't have been available to come on in the first 5 minutes, just purely on minutes played. But even since then, we've had it behind closed doors on Monday against West Brom, where all the lads that haven't been, there was a real strong team, came and all got through 90 minutes.
So, bearing all that in mind, how difficult actually is it now picking a team?
Well, it's a good problem to have. You know, you look around, the players look around now, they're not stupid. They know they need to turn up and play, because they're looking over their shoulder now. There's no guarantee. Just because the last team won, it doesn't mean that'll be the next team that plays. There's different things you look at tactically, whether you tweak the shape or anything like that. So the players, it's good competition for places. There's good demand from each other, because and that's what you want. You don't want just to be able to just pick 11 players all the time.
Thank you, good luck.
Right.
Michael, how long did Sean Long get in that game against West Brom? Did he play? Did he feature for long in that?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was now. I think it was about 70 minutes he played. So it was a good game. It was at the training ground. They had 8 or 9 first team players out, so it was a good run out, what we needed.
Yeah. So does that put him? Does he still need a lot more? Is he close to being in contention now? If you did need to chuck him on in a game?
Yeah, it's a difficult one for Long at the minute. Because like I said, he's been out a long time. So when you do a pre-season, you do a full pre-season, you don't do 30 minutes, 60 minutes, then you go and hit the ground running. You play 5 or 6 pre-season friendlies for a reason. So he's now at a point now where he'll feel ready, and that's good, and we'd be a lot more confident if something happened we could throw him in. So is he ready? But there's no ideal scenario sometimes. Sometimes it's needs must, and that's how people get in the team sometimes. You know, Ryan Broom, I don't think he was just anyone saw him as a right wing back, but the change of shape, he sort of landed on it a little bit, and he sort of found a nice position for himself. So it's funny if it's not an exact science.
Johnny Mullins come through that okay as well?
Yeah, he came through it, and as far as I've heard, there's no reaction from that, so that's a positive, because obviously the last time he played minutes he reacted, so that's another, like I said, another one that's been out, that's pushing.
Yeah. Do you think numbers wise, with Manny Duku going out, would you like to get anybody else out now? People like Matt Bauer's not going to be, with all the players you got back fit for a while now, he's not going to be on the bench, is he? So
it's not so much with, like I said, sometimes it comes to you. We've had a conversation with Lloyd. We don't want Lloyd to go anywhere now. We want to do some work with him. He's played enough football that now we need to do some, rather than learning on the job, he can learn with us now. So whether he's involved or not, he's in and around it, same as what Matt is. So I don't, answering your question, I don't know what will be happening with Matt yet.
Yeah, you're 11 points clear, not furthest you've been away from it for a long time, certainly since you came in. How much better do you think you are now than when you took on the job as a team?
Well, I think the main things are we've got a bit more of a structure to us, and players are definitely fitter. I put that one to bed quite a long time ago, because we worked quite hard quite early to change the intensity in training and things. So it's where we finish really. It's easy to go little markers along that. Where do we finish in the league? Then we can sort of take stock of where we're at and what we are really.
Yeah, I know you've always said you're still looking over to make sure until you're absolutely safe, but you've got a little target with Northampton ahead of you in that, almost like you said, that mini league. So is that a particular motivation for you at the moment to get top of that group?
Yeah, it's take every game as it comes. You know? So we've been at 8 points clear a couple of times, nearly got sucked back in. So we've got 2 of the top 3 next. So there's no guarantees you're going to pick anything up in the next 2 games. You don't know what's going to happen below you. So we are still focused, and yes, we're looking forward, but we're always aware of going what. But that's been the case the whole season. We've always been looking over our shoulder, but it's not that we're only ever looking one way. You want to finish as high as you can, and nothing's changed there. We're just still aware that we're not completely out of any sort of trouble yet.
Yeah, and you did nearly beat Mansfield at home, didn't you? That was almost a very good day, wasn't it? It was a decent result.
I think it was only the second game we played, third game we played in this formation. They've been doing it a long time, and the players turned up, delivered a performance, showed real good resilience and mentality, and we're unlucky really. because they held on for, like I said, second half they changed to a 4-3-3 and really camped in. So it was a tough one to take, but we've had a few of them for, a few of them against. So if we can deliver another performance up there like the one we did at home, then hopefully it'll be another good game.